On jälleen Keskiympyrän aika oikein paljon. Tervetuloa seuraan. Tällä kertaa pääsemme tutustumaan Kuopion Palloseuran itävaltalaiseen maalivahtiin Johannes Kreidliin. Hänen tarinansa on vähän poikkeuksellinen, sillä harvoin me täällä Suomessa näemme ulkomaalaisia pelaajia, jotka viihtyvät sarjassa tai tietyssä seurassa pitkään. On toki tietenkin poikkeuksia, ja yksi heistä on nimenomaan Johannes Kreidl, joka on nyt toista kertaa Suomessa. Tuli jo KuPSiin ensimmäisen kerran 2016, ja sen jälkeen pari vuotta muualla, sitten paluu. Ja nyt kuten tiedetään, Johannes Kreidl teki pitkän jatkosopimuksen Kuopion Palloseuran kanssa, ja pelaa Kuopiossa vuoteen 2028 asti, tai sen kauden loppuun, joten pitkäksi aikaa hän on KuPSiin sitoutunut. Nyt otetaan Kreidelle mukaan Keskiympyrään, kysellään kuulumisia ja kysellään myös, että mikä on saanut miehen viihtymään Suomessa ja Kuopiossa niinkin hyvin. Hyvää iltaa!
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. Nothing special going on in here.
Yeah, I have to ask, like, for the start, because now we're recording this on Monday, and last night you had a game against VPS. Of course, a huge disappointment for you guys. But what do you think about that game now, when it's almost 24 hours?
Yeah, we haven't had the analysis of the game yet, but me personally, I'm very frustrated about the game yesterday. In my opinion, we lost it in the first half. I don't know, really. We couldn't get into the game. Vasa played really well, in my opinion, from the beginning of the first half already. And we just couldn't win our duels. We lost the balls. We made a lot of unforced errors, and it was really hard getting into the game, it feels like. And after 15, 20 minutes, when it keeps happening that you just can't get into the game, I think it's really hard. And
Yeah.
In my opinion, in this in the Mestarus games, in the last 5 games, you can't afford to have one bad half. The teams are too good in there. So, it was really disappointing evening yesterday.
Yeah, and I've been talking here on the show that VPS is the hottest team in Veikkausliiga at the moment. Did you speak about that at all before the game, or just like concentrating on your own performance?
We didn't speak about it. Of course, everybody knows that they have been winning 10 games in a row. I think they have now the record by themselves today.
Yeah, almost. They have. I think Hoiko has won 12 games, but like 20 years ago. But they have now 11. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like they have been getting so many wins. Everybody knew that, but it was not really a big focus of us. We knew that we have to play our game, and we for sure did not play our game yesterday. There's a lot of things what were wrong in the team, but we are gonna have to work on that this week.
Yeah, a loss like that, like you said, it's massive when you look at the table and everything. So how do you shake it off? What do you do to shake it off, or is it in your mind for the whole week until the next game?
It's not going to be until the next game in the mind. I think we're going to go through the Vasa game tomorrow in the morning. We're going to probably have a longer video meeting about it, and just let's see what Honza is going to say, and also what the players are going to say, what they feel personally about it. But there was so much things wrong in my opinion, and I will also have some words for the team.
Okay, can you open up a little bit? Like, what do you think? What were the things that went wrong yesterday?
I think mental wise, everybody wanted to win their duels, and they tried their. Everybody was frustrated after the game. You see it on everybody that they're not happy with their own performance, and it's possible that this happens once in the season in a game that, okay, you don't have a good day, but that almost the whole team doesn't have a good day. That's really, really weird. But in my opinion, it was mostly challenging wise. Like if you see your game is not working, then you just have to win the challenges. And we kind of thought, okay, the ref is going to give a foul, and we just stopped playing, and the ref didn't whistle, so you can't just stop before the ref whistles, in my opinion, also. So a lot of small details.
Yeah, all right. Well, we have a chance to talk about this season a little bit later, but of course, one huge thing now is that you have a long deal with KuPS. You made a long deal, and the club came out with your deal like maybe a month ago or something. But so it's like it's so remarkable and unique, especially in Finnish football, to have so, as you know, to have so long deals. So how did you ended? How did everything end up like that? Was it from? Did it come from you or from the club, or how did it happen?
It came from both ways. I was talking a lot with Jarmo back in the time, like that everybody knows I'm really happy in Kuopio with my personal life, and also football-wise, I'm really happy in here. And it came now a couple of months ago that we made the contract, because I also said I don't want to do it end of the season. I want it done in the middle of it. Because that's also, in my opinion, a sign to the fans and to other players that I'm ready to stay here and I want to achieve things with the club. And I'm also really thankful from the club, because it shows that they trust in my abilities. And 5 years, a lot of things can happen in 5 years, but it's a big thing in my opinion.
Yeah, and you also said that you could have gone maybe somewhere else, or maybe you could have some more money from some other countries or something like that. But you're really enjoying your life also in Kuopio. It's just not about football, right?
Yeah, it's not only about football. Of course, football is also part of it, and we have been really successful the last years, even though we have been missing twice now, or 1 point for the championship the last 2 years, which was really unfortunate. But I think we can achieve a lot in the next years, and also my personal life, like you said, it's a really big thing for my decision making.
Yeah, of course. So if we look back, your first, like when you first came to Kuopio, you came from Hamburg, and you came to Finland and to Kuopio, a little bit exotic place, sort of. So did you like at that point you I imagine that you wasn't like thinking that this is going to be the place that you will end up later, or having a long career in KuPS and Kuopio.
I never had a thought about that.
Yeah.
Because I came here, it was, I think, February or something, and it was minus 28 degrees, and I called my agent, where the fuck do you send me? No, I was a young keeper, and I came here on loan from Hamburg because I needed games on a men's league, and KuPS provided it to me. And in the first year when I was here, was it 2015 or 16? I don't even remember. But it was a really big step in my career, because it was my first year as a professional in the league games and in the men's league, and it was a really good experience, in my opinion, for a young keeper to do it, to get these kind of games. But I had a deal still in Hamburg, so I had to go back there, which I ended up canceling.
Yeah, and what was your like first impression of Finnish football and of course Kuopio and Finnish people?
It was tougher than I expected, to be honest. I have to say the Finnish league is really, really tactical. From every team, I think they are really tactical-wise, really good. They are defending, and their shapes and everything can change a lot. So this is something what was already from the beginning what I saw. And since I left, for instance, KuPS, they have been developing a lot. In my opinion, they got more professional, and it has been stepping up really, really well the last years.
Yeah, as a young player, you were in Tyrol in Austria. Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you started to play football, and was it clear in the first place that football is going to be your sport, your hobby?
I started playing football when I was 4 years old, so really, really young age already. I started same time with my brother, basically just to probably run around and get some sport done. But I still have a book at home from kindergarten where it is saying like what is your job in the future, and I already wrote professional football player, so it was always the dream.
Yeah, and were you always the goalkeeper, or did it come later?
Yes, I was a left fullback.
Really?
Yeah, but only for maybe 2 or 3 years. So when I was like 6 or 7 years old, I went into the goal.
Did you think that you were maybe too smart to play as left fullback, because people are saying that that is the dumbest player on the field?
That's exactly the decision why I made it.
Yeah. So as we know, people, when we talk about goalkeepers, as you know, everyone says that goalkeepers are a bit weird and different compared to other people or other players. So what's your opinion?
I think you have to be a little bit different in your head when you waiting somebody to shoot you on their body or in your face, and you celebrate after that. So of course, there has to be a little bit of craziness in that also. But I already heard 1 or 2 players saying to me like, normally the goalkeepers are so weird, but you're a pretty normal guy.
All right. Maybe those were goalkeepers also who said that.
No, it was field players, but I don't remember who it was.
All right. So, but, how would you describe yourself as a goalkeeper?
Well, I think I have a pretty good leg. I'm more kind of maybe an aggressive kind of goalkeeper. I try to be clearing the balls behind the back line, play really offensive wise, and I think I give calmness to a team because I show them that I'm calm myself, so they can trust me with my saves and with my opening up. They don't have to worry about it, and I think that makes the whole team stronger also.
Is that something that you have always been like a calm goalkeeper, or have you developed it like later?
I have always been, and in the beginning of my youth, it was a little bit of maybe even a problem because some trainers were talking that he doesn't have the body language, or he doesn't care so much or something. But it was always that I was the showing calmness in a game. So I never learned it. Basically, it was always in my system.
Yeah. So, what do you think? What are the biggest things you still want to develop and improve, because you're still young? If we think about as a goalkeeper.
Yeah. I think my basic level is pretty high. We have been working mostly on details now the last 2-3 years since I came to Kuopio. And there's always position-wise small details. Decision-wise, it's a really thin line, so you can always work on something to get better. Something really big what I was working on was my leg work because of the opening the game. When I was first time in KuPS, I basically couldn't kick a ball, so that's what we worked on in Germany and in Austria a lot.
Yeah.
And nowadays, we've been working mostly on small details, like I said.
Yeah. I have to take few questions from the chat because there are so many good questions and some questions about your contract with KuPS, your new contract, and also does this thing have any effect, because people are asking that maybe you do some fishing in your free time. So did it have any effect for with the contract?
The fishing is an extra plus. This didn't have anything to do with the contract.
Okay, but that is something you like to do on your free time.
Yes, I always liked fishing. I did it already when I was a kid with my dad and with my brother. But in Kuopio, the area is so big and there's a lot of good spots, so it's a very nice place to fish. Yes.
Okay, when I come to Kuopio, you have to show me some places.
Yeah, we can go catch some kua.
Nice. I would love that. Also questions about your choice. You're now in KuPS and going to be there for a long time, but did you have any other choices in Finland? As we know, you have a wife now in Finland, in Kuopio, but did you ever consider playing somewhere else in Finland?
I got calls also from a couple Finnish teams, but if I stay in Finland, I will stay in KuPS because my wife's family is from here. Everything is based in Kuopio, so basically the club would have to stop existing or something really bad has to happen that I would join another Finnish team.
So I also would like to know the differences if you compare to Australian football and football culture to Finnish culture. How would you describe those and separate those?
I don't think it's such a big difference from Austria to Finnish. There is maybe a little bit more money involved in the Austrian league. The teams have bigger budgets and like Red Bull Salzburg, you maybe cannot compare to any other Finnish team. But in the other teams in Austria who are, let's say, from the third until the last of the first league, everything is pretty similar. The professionalism is pretty similar. The only maybe difference is that they might have a little bit bigger infrastructures.
Yeah, exactly. And well, we talked about Kuopio already a bit, but what is the favorite thing about Kuopio, in your opinion?
Probably the summer cottage.
Yeah, you have your own place.
Yeah, my wife's parents, they have a place like 15 minutes from the city, so that's the good thing. You can just drive 15 minutes there and you're in the middle of nowhere. You have your own place to be. You go for sauna and swim and have some barbecues, and this is something really nice because I think not a lot of people have it so close that you can just drive spontaneously there. And that's a really, really beautiful place.
Yeah, and I can imagine that it's one of the best things, like best ways to get out of football.
Yeah, exactly. I just drive there, put my fishing gear on the boat and leave, and I forget about everything, you know.
Yeah, of course. So at this point now you're 27, right? And you have a long contract with KuPS. What are the biggest dreams you have now, football-wise?
Well, I want to become Finnish champion with KuPS. I want to be in the Champions League qualification with them and get into a European group stage. This is, for me, the biggest thing what I want to achieve with KuPS. And for my personal career, of course I can see myself still play in another league and in other clubs, but it has to be something really big that I would leave now or in the next future.
If you think about now the situation, you're 4 points behind HJK. People here in the chat also are asking that. Do you still believe that it is possible this year to win the championship?
I totally 100% believe that it is possible. Like you saw, everybody can win everybody in this last 5 games, and if we win the last 4, I'm pretty sure we will be champion. The thing is just that we have to win the 4 games, and then we can just say, okay, it was not enough, or it's going to be enough.
You have already seen a lot of different KuPS teams, in these years you've been in Kuopio. So how would you describe this year's team?
This year's team is a really, really good team, in my opinion. We have a lot of talent and a lot of really good players. It has been a little bit up and downs this season, but this has not really much to do with the players, in my opinion. There was the early changes of trainer 2 times in the season, which I think was not the best start for us in this year. We gave some points away, which we wouldn't have probably if everything was stable. But since Honsu came, I think we have been playing really good football. We have a really good system what fits to our players right now, and I really like my team. Yesterday we just forget about that.
Yeah, exactly. So when we think a little bit back, and like you said yourself that you have some big changes before the season, like first Simo left and then Pasi was the head coach, and then Pasi was sacked after a few Veikkausliiga games. So talk us through that time from your perspective. How did you feel it? Like there was a lot of things happening in the club, and also maybe some pressure from the outside as well, like there always is in football.
Yeah, from my players' perspective, it's the only thing we didn't have that calm preseason. The whole time something was happening, and then when the results didn't come in the first games, and Pasi got sacked, and Honsu came, that was kind of the last big thing the club can do to put us back on track. And I think the club made the right decisions. In my opinion, it was also the right decision to give Pasi a fair chance. He's been such a big person in KuPS, and I respect him a lot. It was just unfortunate for him we didn't get the results. He didn't really get the team how he should have done it, maybe. So that's how the business is. Football is a tough business.
Yeah. What changed after Honsu came as a head coach? What did he change?
Well, there was not much time basically before. I think he came the day before or 2 days before the first game for him. So he just gave us really simple 4-4-2, 4-3-3 system, which is pretty easy to understand as players. And then we just went back to the basics. We went to a good pressing system and also a good defensive system. And offensive-wise, he also changed a couple of things, and it worked out pretty great in the beginning. I think I don't know how much games we didn't lose. Was it 7 or 8 or 9 games even? So it was a big impact from him.
Yeah, and you get many wins first when he came, and you were climbing up the table and went on top. Now you have 3 games, I think, without a win. So do you feel like at this point, do you have to change something radically or keep doing what you're doing, or how do you see it?
I don't think we have to change anything radically. When you look at the last 3 games, there was not really a problem there other than yesterday. From yesterday is the only thing what we are going to have to talk strictly about it and speak on point things out. But the 2 games before, I think we played 2 good games against Hoiko. We played a good game against Hakka. We were a little bit unlucky also, in my opinion, but I don't think we have to change much. We just have to get it freshly into our heads and be focused again.
Yeah. And the great thing about this Finnish league system is that we get to see that final again, you against HJK, which we have seen many times over these past few years, and you have like developed sort of a rivalry with HJK now. I assume that it's a bit like an enemy for you guys.
Yeah, that's not a big secret that the last 2 years were not the nicest when you think about us and Hoiko. They won us twice with 1 point. It has been really, really good games, the last games of the season, in my opinion. Of course, last year it was already decided, but the year before, 2021, for instance, I think it's also really nice for the fans. And yeah, I hope it's going to be the decision game this year again.
Yeah, and of course the last game is if you are like playing for the championship, it's always special. But if you think about those regular season games against HJK, is there like extra charge on those games now when it's been like this for the last few years?
In my opinion, it is always a special game against Hoiko because they have they have the name. It's like Bayern Munich in Germany.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to win them. I think we are really close to them. Like you saw the last couple of years, we have been challenging them really well. So I think it is in every player's head a little bit. This is the top game of the league. The last 3 years, at least, it has always been the top game. So it's always a little special game for sure.
Yeah, you've been in KuPS for a few times now, and I've seen maybe some development in the club. So how would you describe the club has developed in these past few years, and how it has to still develop that you can be successful?
I think it has been really, really good work they did in here. It has been so tight now the last years that it has to be on the right track. And I think that the seasons, the last 3, 4, 5, I don't know how much years in a row we got medals now in Kuopio. Is it 6 years already?
Something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, it has been really long sport success here in Kuopio. So everything, in my opinion, is on the right track, and that's what the results show.
There is also some fans, I think, for you in the chat, and there is one comment that Johnny, you're the best goalie ever in Kuopio. Yesterday would have been 0-5 if it wasn't for Kreidl. How's the atmosphere in the locker room right now?
Well, thanks. First of all, I don't think they would have scored 5 goals, but maybe 1 or 2 saves I had. Well, the atmosphere in the locker room after the game, of course, everybody was disappointed. But we straight spoke that now it's not the time to put your head down. We have the most important games coming up still. Now it's not the time to feel sorry for yourself. Otherwise, you're in the wrong place, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also a good thing for the team spirit is those little pranks you do in the locker room, and there's one question about some prank. Someone called Joona is asking that. Who do you think has done a little prank in the locker room recently?
Yeah, I'm trying to find that out because it hit me.
Tell us what happened.
I just put on, I had a small injury after the Hoiko game,
Yeah.
so I couldn't basically train for 7 or 8 days at all. And I was wearing these compression pants because I had some muscle problems in my right thigh. So after my physio session, I took a shower, went into my compression pants, and something got really, really hot into my private parts. Somebody put some hot cream there.
How did you
So,
take it?
well, I didn't want to make a big deal out of it because I didn't want them to get the happiness out of their prank. So there's a small investigation ongoing. Let's say it like that.
All right, but I assume that the revenge is coming when you get to know who it was.
The person will be very sorry.
All right. So there is a few weeks now till the end of the season. A lot of big games. Every game is a huge one. As a footballer, how do you deal with pressure and do you enjoy these moments?
I think some players are nervous in these situations in the big games, and also maybe even in every game there's a little nervousness. Me myself, I am a pretty calm guy. I don't really pressure myself. Mostly, I just want to enjoy the game. When I am in front of a big game, like in the Euro games or something like this, where it really counts, also, I always say to myself, just enjoy the game. That's why you play football. And I can't really say that I would be a nervous kind of guy. I really enjoy it. That's my job, and I'm really living it.
Yeah, and another final, if you could say like that, is against Inter on weekend, and I feel like I assume that it's going to be you will need to bounce back from this VPS loss.
Yeah, we have to bounce back for sure. It's going to be a really important game also to see what characters we have, how we change this shit game from yesterday into a good game again next week. So, and we also have a revenge. We played a 1-1 against Inter, and in the beginning of the season we lost against them. So it's also a revenge game again.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a hell of a season again, hell of a last week. So I will wish you all the best for the last games and good luck. And I will hold you on that promise that you will show me the places where to get some kuha when I come to Kuopio.
Yeah, so I won't show you all of the good places, but I can show you a couple spots.
All right. I get it. Hey, but
All right.
hey, thank you so much for being on the show. I know it's hectic right now and you are focusing a lot to the game, so it was nice to have you here and nice to hear your story. So thank you so much, and again, good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you. It was nice being here.
Yeah. All right. See you on the fields.
Yeah, see ya. Bye.
Bye. Iso kiitos vielä Johannes Kreidlille vierailusta Keskiympyrässä. Mielenkiintoinen juttu tuokio. Kreidl on rauhallinen kaveri, kuten siinä itsekin kertoi, ja on kyllä semmoinen kulmakivi, johon Kuopion Palloseura pystyy myöskin tulevina vuosina panostamaan. Se tiedetään, että kun Kreidl on kunnossa, niin silloin ainakin maalilla kaikki hoituu, ja siihen päälle on sitten KuPSin hyvä rakentaa myöskin tulevaisuutta. Katsotaan, mihin tänä vuonna riittää. Ainakin näillä näkymin vahvasti europelejä pelataan ensi vuonna Kuopiossa, mutta katsotaan sitten, että riittää KuPSilla jopa mestaruuteen asti. Tässä kuitenkin kaikki tällä erää. Keskiympyrä palaa jälleen ensi viikolla. Nyt ei muuta kuin kiitoksia seurasta jälleen kerran, ja nähdään, kuullaan. Moi moi!